watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ghostfire Media. I'm your broadcaster, Adam Wood, and next to me is my co-broadcaster, Josh Lassen. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. I'm unbelievably excited for the first round of these playoffs with the Fuel Jeff Hill Trailer Sales Series. We get to open it up on a track that I'll admit I'm not as familiar with everything else we've been running, but Road Atlanta is challenging in any car, but gonna be a great time to watch these guys in the Xfinity car.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic night where these guys been racing hard. You know, you get a lot of leagues that when you come to a road course, a lot of people shy away from it. But one thing I'm really loving about this league is nobody really shies away. Everybody comes out here, and there's a lot of road course ringers in here. It's usually you get like maybe 1, 2, but there's at least like 6 or 7 that are truly competitive that will not make a mistake really all night long. And then you have everybody else that is just, you know, right there with them.
And that's what I'm most excited about. I wasn't in the booth for the last road course at the Red Bull Ring. I was out on the track, and you know what? Blown away by some of these guys, because the guys that we're used to seeing being amazing at road courses from the AOLL series weren't even in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know what we're talking about Blake Gordon, Joe Densmore, and Sean Comrie. They're usually really great at road courses from what we've been broadcasting for. So we're getting used to who is the road course ringers here in Fuel Series. You know, we got Alan. Last time we were here was Justin Morton that put on a clinic. And
yeah, it's going to be... I honestly believe that this is going to be anyone's race tonight, because some of these guys are going to definitely have bonus points in their favor. Like Cameron Hearn, for any wins that anyone got this season, they got 7 bonus points going into the chase. And honestly, it's going to be just an absolute blast.
yeah, it's going to be a fun time to watch these guys do it. And I love these corners here. Like you got a hard right and then to another hard right. You got to time it just right so you can keep the momentum going, because this is a long straightaway. You want to build up all the speed that you can get right here.
And then it goes into what is an absolutely wicked chicane, especially in these, well, we'll call them stock cars, that it's a heavy braking zone.
Downhill.
You have to, and you have to get the exit just right, because it's a set of just high-speed right-handers across the line that lead you into another heavy braking zone to start, and it's going to be an absolute blast. And you switch over to last road course winner of Justin Morton. Let's...
Blake Gordon's out there saying this track blows. Oh man,
Said
look
that
at him
at
slide.
the last one too.
Man, Justin Morton was sliding there coming out of the last turn.
And I was watching him running with some of his teammates earlier, and that's exactly what they were doing. They were doing slide jobs through the turns on each other. I'm hoping some of that ends up going well into the race. Sorry, everyone, tried to get my microphone away fast enough for that one. But right now, Justin Morton is sitting in second behind Alan Elwood. And I love the fact that we have those beautiful yellow ticker highlights to where everyone watching out there tonight, all of those people highlighted in yellow, those are our playoff drivers. So you'll be able to see where they're running throughout the evening.
I love these static cams.
I wish iRacing put them into more tracks. Because not everyone has one.
So let's see. He takes over the pole with that lap right there with a 1:25.43. Thomas Bressi has a 1:25.59. Let's go on board with him to see if he looks like he's coasting here. No, maybe.
That's what you need to do through this section. This is a lot more difficult than the S's that you would see at something like Watkins Glen, and more akin to that first sector at Coda.
So you got to go wide here, and then try to launch yourself on the outside right there. Use up as much space as you can to get that momentum down this long straightaway. I think the hardest part about this is when your braking zone here, because you see he's about to come up and then go down a hill here, and then he has to slam on brakes as the momentum's carrying him down the hill.
And that's actually a little bit beneficial, because as you're bottoming out on that hill, it's slamming the car down, so you get a little more grip. Unlike certain tracks like Sonoma, to where you have to brake. Oh,
wow!
Beautiful catch right there across the line.
It wasn't, and he lost a little bit of time there. His first lap was a 1:25.59, and his second one was a 1:25.72. So we got Eric Wineland out there. He's about to start his first lap as he slides it through there in the last corner.
That was actually the end of his first lap.
Oh, the end of.
That is going to put him into 5th position. And the only other person that we currently have out on track is Cal Flarsky. And he is seemingly just kind of taking his time.
He's got a little damage already.
Nah, that's just his paint job.
No, that's damage.
Well, that's damage.
Oh, man. That was me last night. Commentator's curse. Yeah, Kyle, you're not going to be able to get another lap in. Or Calvin.
Yeah, this is, without a doubt, one of the tracks that the only time I've ever actually run it was in an Indy car. It's a blast with a car with downforce, and there's a reason why I didn't run it yet in any of the Cup cars.
I think I've tried it with the Corvette C8R, and it's still a handful. It still is a handful in this Corvette C8R. So I know if that car gives me a little bit of fit, this car would definitely.
And the biggest thing with these cars, if you are a normal, and yeah, the title of the stream is allegedly incorrect there, Adam.
I 100% updated that.
I gotcha. You'll have to handle YouTube. I can handle the other one. Yeah, it didn't update.
It didn't update, period. I know Restream said it had some updates with something wrong with the restream chat feature, but nothing about this. No, I definitely went in there and changed all this.
Just killing us, man.
It did not like it, so. Well, yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes technology,
But-
it's not all the way there.
But we are done with our qualifying,
Let's go ahead and
and we are setting up for one lap here before we go green, and that's gonna take some time.
alrighty. Justin Morton will win the Elwood Designs Fuel Pole Award. Thomas Bressie will come in second. Third will be Alan Elwood. Fourth is Blake Gordon. Fifth is Eric Wineland. Sixth is Cameron Hearn. Seventh is Randy Bechtel. Eighth is Tyler Hensley. Ninth is Michael Stroll. 10th is Will Roberts.
And in 11th is Gael Brooks. 12th, Hayden Pistorius. 13th, Danny Ware. 14th is Brandon Bernhardt. 15th, Joe Dinsmore. 16th, Kyle Cooper. 17th is Don Runkle Jr. And 18th is Tyler Dolger. 19th, Casey Shue. And 20th is Travis McQuistion.
21st would be Brian Keita. 22nd is Chris Matthews. 23rd is John Gravon. And 24th is Calvin Filarski. And that will be your grid for tonight.
As we're waiting for everybody to actually, join the grid. And just listening to the in-race chat, the drivers are getting a little bit of a briefing before we go green.
I'm going to do a rundown of everybody here while everybody's getting loaded up. So everybody at home can match the names to the paint jobs. So this is going to be an interesting one. I know a lot of people out here have not run Road Atlanta, but there's a lot of people that run Sebring or the Red Bull Ring and a few other ones here. So I like it. This league is out there doing a little bit different, throwing some curveballs at everybody in this 2021 B series or season.
And I was most looking forward to the one track that ended up changing when we ran the Red Bull Ring. It was originally on the schedule as Mid-Ohio. I love that track just because it's the closest thing to a home track that I get to have here in Northeast Ohio. And you know what? A lot of fun memories of actually being out there on the track, and some not so fun memories. But Road Atlanta is, without a doubt, one of the staples of racing within the U.S. So, us coming here, the only thing that I could think would be more iconic would be running the Glen, but in Cup cars, that's kind of played out.
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of goes there a lot, and this league decided it wants to go out and kind of venture to other ones. So, I mean, the only other one I could really think of other than that would be Road America.
I would throw out Laguna Seca. But I would love to see, and this is just my personal preference because I also love the track, I'd love to see these cars at Long Beach.
I think that would be a good one as well.
Mostly because I want to see these cars make that last turn.
What's the one with the fountain on turn 2, 3?
Long Beach.
Long Beach, yes, there we go. That's the one.
It's the tightest. It's the slowest turn on the Indy schedule, and I felt that even running the LMP GTE cars there was a terrible idea.
But we did it.
We did, and we had a blast doing it. But we are coming to the green flag, and they are off. And they're still side by side on this very short run down into turn 1, hard on the brakes, making sure no one's giving an inch. But Thomas Baresi and Justin Morton go through quite cleanly, and I'm waiting to see if there was any chaos there, and it doesn't look like there was your normal turn 1 issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that harsh of a turn one. It's not like a Watkins Glen where it's a slam on brakes and everybody has to slow almost all the way down and then hang a vicious right. That was kind of a lazy right there. You get a lot of track to kind of make that right-hand corner.
But as we're watching the battle at the front, no one's really giving an inch, as they're about the same distance, and we do have our first victim, unfortunately, Mr. Kyle Flarski. But right now, these guys are just happy to stay in line, wait until that pit stop, and just wait for that small mistake by the person in front of them to capitalize, as we see a little bit of a lockup there from Thomas Baresi.
Yeah, I mean, while we were in practice here, you know, I was looking at the battle here between Thomas Baresi, Justin Morton, and Alan Elwood. It looked just like this right here. I think Justin Morton was just a little bit closer to Thomas's back bumper, but we were trying to focus in to see what can these guys do. And these guys were giving each other pretty good hell during practice. There was no inch given at all until the end, and until that checker flag flew. Then they kind of started beating and banging for fun.
Well, and that's exactly what you need to do. You need to figure out the limits. You got to figure out where your passing points are, because see a little bit of a bobble there from, it looked like that may have been Alan Elwood at the back, losing a little bit of time. But we're starting to see him spread out just a little bit. That last lap, Thomas Baresi was about a half a second faster than Justin Morton, and then another 3/4 of a second back to Alan Elwood. So we're starting to see those time differences really start to play out.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of run back here and maybe let Thomas burn up his tires, or anybody really, and then you guys can kind of feel everything out and let your tires cool down, and hopefully at the near the end of the run, that's when you can start pushing it more than everybody else can.
And I'm loving seeing Thomas Baresi push as hard as he is, getting on the power early, getting a little bit of a slide coming out of the corners, taking those curbs as just a suggestion, putting the front wheel over it, and just having a great time running up at the front right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can see he's just sliding right there.
Oh, is the last incident, it looks like we had a little bit of chaos back there involving Danny Ware.
Let's go back and look at it and see what happened.
It's definitely not the camera you want.
Yes, usually it switches to the camera that it needs to be at. Let's see, he's already spun at this point. So
I was going to say, yeah, you're going to want to go a little farther back, because coming out from under the bridge.
Oh, the 73 gets into the side of him right there.
And unfortunately, it looks like Mr. Ware just barely splits the pack.
Yeah, Joe
Keeps it
Dinsmore
pointed the right direction. Hopefully he wore the brown pants today.
Yeah, Joe Dinsmore saw his life flashing before his eyes right there. Good guy.
Yeah, that is not what you're wanting to see while everybody's this close right now. And
yep, don't want to be on that camera either. But I think is man.
While everybody's there, but I'm absolutely loving seeing all of these guys coming out of that last turn a little bit sideways.
Everybody coming in heated right there. I mean, it's just like, I'm just going to send it. That's all they're saying.
And you know what? I love it. It's with these cars, the tires that you're going to kill the most under normal circumstances are the fronts. trying to get just a little bit of extra grip, but you can save those tires a little bit by sliding the back end around.
Justin Anderson says it's not sideways, it's slideways.
But you know what? Thank you for my racing grammar lesson of the day. Even though you did teach me just a little bit to get Adam's practice time down a spot earlier.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be giving away helpful hints to the enemy. It's cool though.
But right now, these guys, we're starting to see the pack start to spread out just a little bit. It looks like we've got 2 people in the pits for some extended periods. Eric Wineland and Cal Filarski have both either retired or trying to get the required repairs to get back out on track.
Yeah, we got a good battle here, so I'll look at it right quick as they come through here. Kind of closest right now. Actually, Joe Dinsmore
is slowly closing down the gap on Travis McQuistion. Yeah, and this is where one of those wily veterans that we have in Joe Dinsmore, he's saved his tires most likely, and he runs like clockwork. He may not be the fastest man out on track, but he is going to be one of the most consistent on track.
Yeah, and I mean, Brandon Bernhardt right now, as you can see, he's under attack by Hayden Pastores right there in number 9. So this is a tight little group right here that Brandon's like, please just let me go. And Hayden's like, no. And then Travis wants to join in, and it goes all the way back. And I believe that is Casey Shue back there, our recent podcast guest.
And honestly, a great one, as Hayden is trying to get around the outside, forcing Brandon onto that low line, and Hayden gets the job done on the outside, and that is not where Brandon wants to be coming through these turns onto this long straight.
No, you want to have a good launch there. We saw Hayden lock up his brakes just a little bit, though, there, be on the outside line. Probably didn't do too much damage to it, but any lock up here on the long run of 100% fuel cycle here can cause a lot of damage.
Yeah, and again, those tires are going to be the key to this, because we're probably only going to end up seeing a single pit stop tonight. And yeah, we're looking, I can't remember how many laps we have tonight.
Yeah, this is supposed to be on laps.
40 laps. Yeah, we're looking at 40 laps, and we only have 6 in the books. I think saving your tires, as we do see a little bit of clouds, and
Ooh, Hayden Pastores off the track. Gets in the side of Brendan.
And that's more of a Blake Gordon move after a race of just having revenge on cones.
And we see the Chris Matthews in that red and white car back there just cut the course just a little bit there. Hit a moto lawn, and so it was a little bit too high of grass there, so he had to cut it.
But he's still staying with his pact, where iRacing didn't end up penalizing him because probably had just enough of the car over the line. And back up towards the front, we're starting to see a little bit more space between these guys, about a second across the board. And yeah, right now this is where the racing is.
Yeah, this is the closest pack we have. We're watching all the different intervals throughout it, and as Brandon Bernhardt locks it up, gets the car a little sideways. Not the entry you want to take in those last 2 corners there. But let's see, Cameron Hearn right now looks like he's under attack right now from Blake Gordon.
And he got the pass done a few laps ago, and Blake may be struggling a little bit with his tires. He is known for going 100% all of the time. Tire wear be damned. And he goes a little bit sideways there. And
I got a good battle right here with Danny Ware. Danny Ware's caught and passed the 73 again. The one that they got into a little bit earlier. He's catching back up to the battle right here. He's looking to try to get around Don Runkle Jr. here.
And we've got both of those guys right now. Danny Ware and Kyle Cooper are the ones that got a little tangled up there. It was from an outside source, but definitely not where you don't like running around guys that you've already had contact with, because you may end up having a little bit too much emotion and may dive a little deeper into a corner than you normally would.
Let's see, we had Blake Gordon went off track here. That's probably when Cameron Hearn was able to get by him right there. That's how you do it. You just keep going through the grass.
Just point it the right direction and hope for the best.
And then we go from one Endeavor guy to the next one. Brandon, his teammate, went off track here as well. Locks her up and gets into the grass just a little bit.
We need to jump ourselves back up to the front. Thomas Baresi only has 0.3 of a second behind him with Justin Morton.
And then you can see Alan Elwood is a little bit distance, about 2 more seconds back from this pack these two right here. And then it's almost a 9-second gap back to the next 4th place person out there.
And these guys have just started to take off, and they're probably taking advantage of the draft that you can get to help distance yourself, because 0.3 of a second is enough, especially with some of these long straightaways and even the S's that they're coming into. It's going to be helpful.
Yeah, I think Justin trying to buy this time at somewhat and hopefully continue to push Thomas Baresi, make him work his tires a little bit more than he wants to, be more aggressive than he wants to. It kind of ruined the tires for him, and that's Justin's hoping that'll happen so he can catch and take a chance and jump in front of him.
But we haven't really seen anything other than some very slight lockups from him during this whole race. So at this point, Justin Morton's probably going to have to take a big risk to be able to get around him, and he may be in the section that he needs to be to do that. If he can get himself close enough to do a little bit of a late braking, he may actually be able to get the job done.
I mean, it's either that or he pits maybe a lap sooner than Thomas Baresi does. And then if he is faster than him, where, maybe Justin's having to hold back here a little bit running behind him, he doesn't want to overshoot a corner. Maybe that one lap he's out there with a newer, fresher tire is definitely going to run faster lap, but he's also going to run his line.
Well, and you mentioned the tires. We're a quarter of the way into this race. Their best lap time, they're approaching a 1.5 seconds slower on that last lap.
So I mean, Alan Elwood could play that card too. He's only about less than 2 seconds off of the lead pack here. He's still in the fight, and him pitting one lap earlier than everybody else can catapult him to the front.
And we are going to need to play a little bit of strategy tonight, especially amongst these front three. I don't think that the tire fall off is going to be too quick. So if you do start to see your lap times drop below about 2 seconds, it may be time to go ahead and pit, and as long as your fuel window is open, get yourself in, get the tires, and just hope you get enough of a gap that one lap of tire difference isn't going to make a huge impact on your race.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to go out there and probably throw down a qual lap on that first lap out, because I guarantee you they're going to come in the next lap if they don't see you coming in that first lap. So you need to get everything you can out of that first lap, so hopefully you can leapfrog them by the time they come out of the pit road.
And if I'm in their shoes, I'm starting to see on the relative, you're talking, people are probably about 20 seconds in front of them right now before they hit lap traffic. I'm going to push it until there's about 5 seconds, and that's going to be my cue to hit the pits, because you're going to get slowed down by this lap traffic, because we are definitely seeing close to 6 seconds of difference between our leaders right now.
Well, as it stands, you got
and the
two
lap traffic.
You got 2 lap traffics right there, 2 cars, and they're pretty spread out, so to speak. So they're not going to be back to back. But once you get up to the next one, if you look at the track map, the number 66, the 19, and a few other ones, there's quite a bit of cars there. That's kind of where the no man's land. You don't want to be stuck in that type of pack. But these onesies and twosies right there, I think they can manage to get around with them without too much trouble.
But as we have hit this point, we are slowly reaching the point that everybody's so spread out. But if we go back into the battle for 5th place, Blake Gordon is under pressure from Tyler Hensley.
Yeah, Tyler Hensley's been working his way up. He's running, his lap times are just a little bit better than Blake Gordon's right now, by about a half a second right now. So as they come across the line,
The lap prior, that's a massive difference, because with him right on his bumper, that's going to put a little bit of extra pressure inside of Blake's head. And we've already seen one error tonight. We have to be thinking that Tyler's just like, I will run right behind you, force you to run just that little bit harder, and hope for another mistake.
yeah, Tyler Hensley's there though. He closed the gap and he's there. I wonder if Blake cooked his tires. Ill handling car. Ooh, he gets a little sideways there. Will Tyler take advantage of this? Slideways there.
But he's up alongside on that back stretch. That's going to force Blake into an unknown place for his braking points, and does a great job of getting the car slowed down and trying to prevent Tyler Hensley from getting the crossover done. But he's right there next to him, and he's going to be in a terrible position for these last turns.
Yeah, he almost got to the side of his door, but just the way those corners are, it's awkward uphill to the right. It slings you, and yeah, it just wasn't his turn right there. He's got to find a different spot for a better opportunity to pass.
But if he can put himself in the right position on that back stretch, take advantage of the draft, and then really get a little bit farther alongside Blake, he should be able to get the job done on this lap going into that chicane.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see where is Tyler's strong points at versus Blake's. And last time we saw was this corner right here.
And it looks, and it's the worst place for Blake to be a little bit on the weak side, because we're seeing him. He's getting down along the outside, so he's going to have the inside of that first turn of the chicane. So if he can get the late break done, get himself into position, force Blake around the outside, that's going to give Blake a terrible exit out of the second. And the pass is done, and now Blake is actually under pressure from Randy Bechtel right now.
Yeah, Randy Bechtel slowly coming into the picture as these two are battling, and see if Tyler Hensley can kind of walk away from Blake Gordon, or will it just be kind of a slow pull away?
It definitely looks like he is not really tearing off like I would have thought, with how much speed advantage he definitely had there. It just looks like Blake gets to mirror his line and try to get himself ready to do the exact same thing that just happened to him along the backstretch.
Ounce. Joe Dinsmore and Hayden Pistorius, they've been battling for like 3 or 4 laps now. I've seen their lap times stay almost similar here. So I'm just trying to see what they're able to do. They're both running about a 130.41. Joe ran a 130.83, but he's right on the back door of Hayden Pistorius. Hayden Pistorius is very slideways there.
And that may be the fastest way through the S's right here. Because you get to be a little harder on the throttle. It's harder to control. But at the end of the day, if you're on that throttle good and hard, you get the opportunity to just launch out of the corner.
And look, Hayden had to really slow down there in the middle of that corner. They gave room for Joe to really capitalize. Joe really rolled through that corner versus Hayden.
And we're sitting waiting. 26 to go. I'm wondering if we are going to have any early takers on the pit stops. Because even up towards the front, and we did miss something there, Adam, watching this. Most recently, Thomas Peresi actually has moved back into second with an off track.
Yeah, he just barely got off right there to the side. Let's see if I can rewind it just a little bit more to kind of see what exactly happened here. The line. Yeah, he just hits the dirt.
Power a little bit too early.
Hits the sand just a little bit too much, and you can't really put down much throttle when you're on that sand.
And that was while they were battling with some lap traffic.
So now
as we look back, if we go back, Hayden Pistorius, there's a few extra people that have joined this party to where Joe Dinsmore has Chris Matthews and Casey Shue right there waiting to take advantage of any kind of bold move that he tries to make. I'm trying to figure out who.
We're on Chris Matthews right now behind Joe Dinsmore. See, as you have to go all the way down, hit that braking slice from one, then up the hill. It's a blind hill right here, and it just slings you out to the left. You try to carry all the speed you can through this corner right here. This is a corner where we say you see everybody getting slideways.
And right now, Joe Dinsmore, he's still right up on Hayden, and that's probably what's given these guys the opportunity to catch up, because Joe may be held up right now by Hayden.
Yeah, I mean, catching somebody and passing somebody, straight up is two different things. If they make a mistake, you can capitalize. That's one thing. But if they don't make any mistakes, it's hard to pass here at Road Atlanta.
And it's very similar to the situations that we saw when we were running the Red Bull Ring. There's only 1 or 2 real passing spots, and you have to take advantage of those hard braking zones and be the guy who is just a little bit more brave on that pedal, maybe have a lockup, but just get yourself alongside them and slide your way through. And I don't hold too many grudges, but Joe may have sent me 3 wide into turn 1 at the Red Bull Ring.
Oh man, somebody had to go 3 wide. You just happen to be one of those people.
I know. It was actually a good move, and it was clean. Luckily, all of those Formula One tracks have a lot of runoff room. That's not something like here to where you're going through a gravel pit.
Yeah, we had Casey Shue was really loose coming off that corner right there. You saw his rear end just kind of wiggle a lot there.
He's just trying to get as much power as he can to take advantage of Joe's relatively conservative run right now behind Hayden.
See, Blake Gordon, he is under attack still by Randy Bechtel. Randy Bechtel's not giving up this fight.
And he's got the right mentality. Make sure you're as close as you can. You aren't giving up any kind of time. And then you undercut. Get those fresh tires. Get that one hot lap in, because these guys are 3 seconds off the pace of their fastest lap.
Yeah, right now we're really at 23 to go, so we're almost at the halfway point of this race. They'll be coming by in 3 laps. They'll be at the halfway mark, and that's kind of where most people, you might start seeing some gambles play off here. Everybody coming in, you know, come 50-50 on the tires. So you learn what not to do in the first 50%, and hopefully make some better tire management for the last 50%.
At the same time, most people are going to do exactly what you just said, that it's going to be about the tire management for the close of this race. I'm all about the tire manage now and then run like hell on that second stint.
Yeah, let's see here. No, gonna have to get rid of those comments. Block.
Yeah, those are, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, never mind. Apparently we don't get to block them from the Restream chat.
Fun times, you know, all these random bots that just love to go through any live video and just throw out random comments. We had an Adolf Hitler a couple weeks back. It's good times. We got a Hayden Pistorius. He went off the track. Let's see what happened here.
That's just a terrible lockup in the worst place imaginable.
Yeah, that's not his corner tonight. We've seen him make quite a few small mistakes there and just not getting the best launches there. So,
I mean, everyone has those corners when you're running these races. And unfortunately, that would have been mine at
and there he goes.
Road Atlanta.
He's the first one coming down pit road right now.
Honestly, he took the trip off the track. That's going to do a little bit of damage to your tires. And when you're already this deep into a race, why not? And I'm wondering if that's going to set off the chain reaction, as we actually have an incident that just popped up. Mr. Gael Brooks. I don't see how that's a... Oh, that's how it's a crash. Just gets a little loose and then... Whoop.
He just wanted to do a victory donuts really early. That's all it was. Good thing he was able to get out of the way.
Yeah, and then comes Michael Stroll to get himself around.
I like the blimp view, but we get no engine sound, so let's go ahead and try to find it.
Well, as we go by and get to see Gael's
victory
skid
burnouts
marks there.
Gael Brooks, he would be like, I'm number 10. That's where he's at right now.
Hey,
it's got a 1 in
matter.
it. It's got a 1 in it, so.
As he is our next taker for pit road. And he just did some serious damage to his tires, so
yeah, I mean,
again, why not?
You just did a wonderful 360. And we got Justin Morton. He's down pit road. Will Thomas?
Oh, he's taking. That's a bit of a gamble from where he is, but that leaves Thomas Baresi out on track, and he's going to have a nice, solid lap under his belt of gapping him even farther as Alan Elwood joins him in the pits. So first and third have dove in.
I don't know if I'm Thomas Bressi, do I come in next lap or do I run it 2 or 3 more laps so I have fresher tires at the end to hopefully come back? Because I mean, not coming down now, I mean, I would have came with him.
I don't know if he had enough time to commit. The pit lane entry here comes right after the chicane. And with Tyler Hensley diving in, that is setting off the chain reaction to where Blake Gordon's in, Will Roberts is in. So we're starting to see everyone make their way down to get the fresh shoes and start dancing.
We'll see if Thomas Bressi comes in this lap here, or will he stay out for a lot longer?
He's in this lap.
Yes.
And that is a hot entry, but he gets in clean. If I was in his shoes, I would just stay running and then just abuse my tires
Yeah.
for the last section.
Justin understood what I was talking about, and then by the time Justin finished writing it and submitted it, he's like, "Oh, he already pitted. Never mind."
Yeah, I would want the fresher rubber because you'll be able to run faster, run harder because you don't have to conserve your tires for the same amount of time that you did previously. Just make it to where you can go nuts.
So Justin is by him, and Thomas Bressi is 4.1 seconds back. So that's 1 lap of difference. I think he had about a second gap on him before moving into the pit road. So he's gained about 3 seconds there.
Well, and right now, third is actually Randy Bechtel, and we're starting to see the rest of the pack make their way in to where Michael Stroll, Travis McQuistion, Don Runkle Jr., Brandon Bernhardt, and John Griven have all pitted this lap. And I don't know. I think if I'm mid-pack, I'm going to take some chances and go a little bit off kilter with my strategy. As we can run through really quickly, all of our playoff drivers, they're taking the first 7 positions. The only person that is not, well, no, there's Michael Stroll in 10th. Kyle Brooks is making his way back up there in 12th. Hayden Pastoris in 13th. Danny Ware in 17th. And then I do believe Eric Wineland is our final playoff driver all the way back in 21st.
Yeah, he's 4 laps down. Not the night that he was hoping for here. Let's see. We got Brandon Bernhardt crash. Let's see what that is.
It looks like lighting your tires up early coming out of the pit lane. And nope, that's just him stopping for being a gentleman for all of the people up to speed.
That's a hell of a gentleman right there.
Well, he was running down in 20th. My guess is he saw those red names on his relative and was just like, you know what? I am not going to screw up a single person's night tonight.
Alrighty. So, I mean, after this pit stop right now, we see a lot of spacing. Before we had quite a few battles going back and forth, but now we're seeing about a 2-second gap. Close to that. That's kind of what everybody's averaging right now. So there's not really any good battles out there. So,
we just take a quick run through the field.
Alrighty. So first right now we have Justin Morton. Second is Thomas Bressi. Third we have Alan Elwood. Fourth we got Cameron Hearn. Fifth Tyler Hensley. Running 6th is Blake Gordon. 7th is Randy Bechtel. 8th is Will Roberts. 9th is Michael Stroll, and 10th is Travis McQuistion.
And those are all the guys that are actually on our lead lap. And as Adam was alluding to, the closest gap we actually have right now is Blake Gordon being roughly 2.5 seconds behind Tyler Hensley.
Yeah, Cameron Hearn right now is running 4th behind Allen, as we're seeing, but he's 11 seconds back. So, and then Thomas Bressy's about 7 seconds ahead of Alan Elwood. So, didn't expect to see that. They both came in at the same time. They're all about a second or so off of each other. So I wonder if just some lap traffic started to play in there.
Well, and that's what we're going to slowly start to see if we look at the track map. Pretty much, we don't see many. Oh, as Randy Bechtel went off track and Chris Matthews both went off track, and it looks like that was around the chicane. Well, because I started to see a little bit of pile up, but that's turn 1. That's the chicane, and that's right in front of our leaders.
Yeah, I think he just dove right to get away from the leader there. Didn't want to mess him up.
Hidden. Yeah, we saw Brandon Bernhardt be a gentleman in much the same way. Once you start seeing, as we get to see Hayden Pistorius get a little sideways coming through the final turn.
So about 16 laps to go here. We got Hayden Pistorius running side by side right now with Alan Elwood. Hayden Pistorius is 1 lap down though. He's not running for position here.
And right now, for me, if I'm in his position, these are called moral victories. Try to hang on to those leaders as long as you can.
Yeah, and study their line, see where they're braking. I mean, you're learning. I mean, it's not going to really help you in this race. You're kind of already 1 lap down. There's no cautions to kind of regroup everybody here tonight. So only local cautions, but maybe I help you kind of learn roadcraft better to see the guys that are a little bit faster than you usually on road courses.
And we're actually starting to see some gaps close up as Travis Gael Brooks is under pressure from Chris Matthews right now. And then just a few spots back, Hayden Pistorius has Joe Dinsmore right on him as well. But this is a whole lot closer as Gael is pushing the limits of those tires and pushing the limits of that suspension, hitting those curbs.
Yeah, he's out there slinging it sideways for sure.
And this is all right in front of Alan Elwood in 3rd place.
Yeah, Alan Elwood does not want to see any of these guys make a mistake. They can battle all they want, but just don't make a mistake that will take him out of this competition.
Well, and these are the kinds of things as we're coming up to the chicane off the backstretch. This is where I'm going to be most worried.
Yeah, I mean, Alan still has some time to kind of maneuver if something does happen there and if one of these guys make a mistake. He's not too close to them right now where he'd be kind of SOL. He has time to move around.
But that gap is closing, and he's probably just taking a little bit of a break, just letting them go because he has 15 seconds to the position behind him. So he has plenty of time as we have to jump back. It looks like, oh no, never mind. This is way farther back. I'm not even realizing how infrequently we're getting notifications at this point because I'm so fixated on this. As we see Chris Matthews dive out of the way for Alan Elwood and just give up that battle for just a little bit.
I mean, he can let his tires cool off a little bit, have another charge at him here in a few minutes.
So I'm curious, if we jump back, Joe Dinsmore actually got around Hayden Pistorius, and Casey Shue also made a pass at the same time.
No, that's not what I clicked, but hey, it's cool.
Oh, Hayden just goes wide and just doesn't quite get the run that he wants and loses 2 positions in the process.
So we got Tyler Hensley now is under attack by Blake. Gordon Blake is trying to catch up to him right now.
And with 13 laps to go, it's throw caution into the wind and see what you can pull off and do everything in your power to get that one better position, because the points coming in for 5th over 6th are going to be everything for him.
Oh yeah, I mean, in this type of league, it's going to be very competitive and every point counts. So Blake is trying to get to the back door of Tyler Hensley and trying to figure out how he can get around him.
Well, as long as he can get himself up to the back door right before that long stretch on the back, it's going to be perfect for him.
And they're coming up it's a lap traffic right there. Blake's teammate, Brandon Bernhardt, and that blue number 70.
Well, I wonder if there are going to be any kind of team conversations about this one.
Oh, now he just pulls over. That's a gentleman right there.
He is nothing if not a gentleman.
He's better than me than what I did last night.
Well, but there's a difference. That's on an oval.
But yeah, I had some fun last night trying to help Justin out as much as possible at good old Chicagoland. I had nothing to do, so what better to do than help a teammate push and draft down a front stretch and back stretch at Chicagoland.
I feel like this battle is gonna rage on for quite some time, because Tyler Hensley showed earlier in the race that he may have a little bit more pace than Blake, but Blake has something to prove right now.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends, though. I mean, did Blake wear his stuff out? He went through the grass, no. How much did he push on the first run? Did he learn something from it? Is he able to capitalize on the tires now? We're not as deep in the run as we were before on this last battle. So did he save enough here? Has he made less mistakes that kind of, help save his tires?
Well, I think we're going to probably see, as this last lap, Blake was only about a 10th faster.
It's going
But I think we should jump back a little bit. Guile Brooks is back under pressure from Chris Matthews.
Yeah, Chris Matthews stayed back about a lap and a half or so after letting Alan Elwood by, and probably let his tires kind of cool off. Didn't push as hard, and now he's able to make that charge back.
And sometimes that's all you really need to do, because as I'm looking at it, we're looking at a track temperature of about 111 as Chris Matthews goes wide.
Very
doesn't
wide.
really lose too much ground in that situation. He's going to have to try to make a few more attempts like that. Occasionally, yeah, you may go off track, but there's plenty of runoff there.
They both made a mistake there. Guile Brooks right there, he got on the gas a little bit too much. I think Chris Matthews got on even worse than him.
And that's the worst place to do it, because he's not going to have as much speed down the back stretch. And now he's going to have to make up that he has a 2.25 gap to him right now. And that's massive, considering he was only about 0.3 back when that error happened, as Guile dips a tire onto the grass.
Yeah.
That's going to slow him down.
Everybody's pushing it coming off that last corner there, and getting slideways, and then coming down here. It's fun in the Mazda Miata, I believe. I think I've been on this track with the Mazda Miata going down those. It's actually fun in that car because it doesn't feel as out of control as it does with the Xfinity car. Ooh, there's Guile Brooks goes wide.
Ooh. And that's closing the gap very quickly and putting Chris Matthews back in a position. But we should jump back up towards the front as Cameron Hearn, or Tyler Hensley, is even closer. Blake is right there on his bumper.
Justin said that we should make a slideways drinking game. No, I would ridiculously say it a lot more. It'd be like Super Troopers, license registration, meow. But yeah,
it definitely looks like coming out of onto this backstretch seems to be Blake Gordon's weakness, because he's right there on the bumper and then loses just that little bit of speed, making it to where he can't try to throw one in going into the chicane.
Yeah, he really capitalized though in that braking zone.
Ooh, we need to jump back. Chris Matthews got the pass done and then hang on to it for a little while. Let's
see, how did he get the pass done? He just slung it in there in turn one.
And
no, he cut the grass. That's how.
And then he ends up doing that, and I'm amazed that he didn't get a slowdown penalty for that.
I think he did. As you could see that he went a little bit slower. Well, there's the chicanes there. It's just sometimes you don't have to slow, like just like slam on brakes and slow down. Sometimes the natural way of the track, it kind of helps with these slowdown penalties.
And yeah, because iRacing only does it to where you have to get off the throttle, and if you do it into a place that you have to get off the throttle anyway, why not?
Yeah, right now we got a good battle between Joe Densmore, Casey Shute, and Hayden Pastoris right there. These two right here.
These guys, I'm somewhat amazed that we're starting to see, as we get deeper into this race, guys are closing gaps and doing everything that they can to get as many positions, because we're starting to see a lot of really good racing right now.
Yeah, these guys are closing the gap, and they're not letting them, you know, the sight of them go away. They're going to stay there and continue to push.
No, they are trying real hard to get themselves just a few extra points, and at this point it's nothing more than bragging rights to see who's the best of the rest.
Yeah, right now Casey Shue is doing his best to try and keep up with Joe Densmore, and Hayden Pastoris is just trying to keep eyesight of him as they're coming up on, I believe that's Cameron Hearn. But Cameron Hearn is on the lead lap, and this battle right now is on. These guys are all lap down cars.
And it's not normal to see cars a lap down slowly close in on the leaders, unless Cameron Hearn, who definitely has a gap to where he is 21 seconds back from Alan Elwood. So for him, he has a 10-second lead over Tyler Hensley. It could just be minimize any kind of potential mistakes and bring it home.
Now the battle though here, Chris Matthews not able to pull away. Guile Brooks is staying with him. He's using everything he can. He's trying to take the Chris Matthews line there.
I mean, sometimes with these cars, if you hit those curbs good and hard, it's going to make it to where you get more grip on the outside because those are the only tires with any kind of weight on them. I'm not saying it's the best method, but occasionally if you have to use it, it's worth it.
Wow. Chris Matthews locked it up a little bit. Then you could see Guile Brooks get a little loose there, trying to put the power down, come out of the corner. Yep. Josh said it. Josh said that was good and hard. So, yeah. We don't care about phrasing here at Ghost Fire Media. We encourage it.
We intentionally will drop those for you just so we can make you giggle like a teenager.
And you can see the race line right there on the track as Guile Brooks was ridiculously slideways there.
And right now, if we actually jump a little farther forward, Travis McQuistion is coming up on the bumper of Will Roberts. And that is a battle for position to get 8th place. Oh, wait. Am I looking at the right thing? No.
Yeah. Travis McQuistion is right there. Number 8 of Will Roberts.
I'm just really confused because Will Roberts' car says 8, and I know he's number 3.
Yeah.
And that's just confusing me.
And then we have Thomas Bresci right there, that number 24. That's the race leader. I wonder if they're... Or no, he's in second, sorry. Justin Morton is the race leader right now. And Justin Morton, just like he did on the last road course, he is pulled away, and nobody's really catching him.
Once you can get yourself out into a lead and have the kind of clear track that he has, even though Justin Morton is coming up on Brandon Bernhardt. For the most part, I'm hearing the calls over the radio to where Brandon just takes an outside line, lets him past, and he's just got clean air to run in at this point. So
yeah, he's about to come up with Danny Ware. As soon as he gets past Danny Ware, he has about half a lap before he's going to catch somebody else, or half a track. And we're 5 laps to go, so this race is winding down. Oh, Will Roberts goes really wide, gets back too hard on the throttle there.
And that's a terrible place for that to happen. But it doesn't look like Travis McQuistion had a small enough gap to be able to make something out of this outside of getting himself right back on the bumper.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, sometimes you're running your line, you don't expect them to make a mistake. So, good thing Travis didn't do anything kind of reckless whenever he saw him make a mistake. Because sometimes, you know, your instinct was like, I want to capitalize, and you hit the throttle a little bit too hard, and then the round you go and you make a mistake. So, he did a pretty good job maintaining
done that
it.
More times than I care to admit to. But it definitely seems like, given enough time, the pressure that Travis is putting on Will, there is going to be another mistake, and he should be able to capitalize.
Yeah, right now, we're looking at the battles on the track. This is the closest battle. Then Tyler Hensley and Blake Gordon battle is still raging on. And then Joe Dinsmore and Casey Shue and their battle, they're still raging on as well. But this is the closest one as of right now. We see the other ones get a little bit closer, we'll swap over to it.
But Travis is in the perfect position here. The only wild card is having the lap traffic of Brandon Bernhardt right in front of him. And as we're starting to see him set up. Oh, this is dicey.
They both go through the grass.
I'm not sure if there was any contact there.
I think it was just late braking on their aspects, and because you had Brandon Bernhardt on the outside right there, and they're both out of sequence and out of line for their normal braking zone. As Brandon Bernhardt really gets out of the way really quickly for Alan Elwood.
Well, you got to get out of the way for the third spot on.
Oh
the
no,
podium.
it was just a violent right there as he like slid sideways coming off the last corner. He made a violent right to get out of the way, so Alan Elwood didn't have to really lose momentum there.
But this battle is just gonna continue up until the last moment, and these guys are a lap down, so they've got it. Ooh.
Wait,
Gordon.
We're seeing two battles in one here. We got the Blake Gordon battle and the Tyler Hensley battle.
Oh, Blake Gordon getting loose there probably caused Joe Dinsmore to check up ever so slightly to avoid what might have been catastrophic. And that's not what Joe wants to see going through the S's.
Yeah, I just watched Casey Shue had a really good run on Joe. It just could not do anything with it. Had to back off there. You know, it sucks when you're being on a road course and you have that one area that you're faster, but there's absolutely nothing you can do with that momentum that you build off of. So it's like very short-lived.
But as we hit the backstretch,
I'll move back up.
that is the exact thing that they're wanting to see. Casey Shue wants to have that draft through this high-speed section, but it looks like he got a bad launch out of the turn and can't quite close the gap using the draft.
Yeah. So as this one goes on, let's check back up here with the Will Robertson and Travis McQuiston. They're right in front of Alan Elwood. What does Travis do? I know he's getting a blue flag right now by NASCAR officials. He's going to pull over and kind of with 2 to go and lose out on this battle.
Ooh, as we see Will Roberts get loose, and I don't think he is. I think that right now Alan is very comfortable, just getting to hold his position.
Is there?
And oh, he's gonna try. Oh, he's thinking about late breaking him, but it's best just to be safe at this point because we are on our final lap. Why don't we go on board with Justin Morton through his final lap?
Let's move over here to a little bit closer of a cam for him so we can kind of see it a little bit different. Didn't like using this camera whenever we're trying to focus on a battle, but this is Justin Morton's final lap, so we can be able to kind of zoom in a little bit more on the man, the myth, the legend of Justin Morton.
And he is just in the perfect cruise, not pushing too hard, hitting all the curbs at just the right moment, and just quietly and controlled bringing it home through this last lap.
You hear him wind up the engine just a little bit right there, going down that long back straightaway.
And this is the moment that I'm going to break about 100 feet earlier
Yeah.
than I normally would.
Especially with the 7.87 second lead. Yes, this whole entire lap is breaking sooner than I thought.
As he's making his way around the last turn to take the checkered flag in dominant fashion.
Let's see, we'll get a top 3 here. We got
Thomas Baresi making his way across, and
Danny Ware.
behind this battle,
Travis McQuiston did get a pass on Will Roberts there.
and Allen was right on the bumper.
So Justin Anderson said that was an impressive drive. At least one Justin knows how to win, damn it. Says the man that's got like 15 wins this season between the 2 series.
I was going to say he knows how to win.
Alrighty, let's wait for everybody to cross the line. It's gonna be a few minutes. Well, then we'll run down the overall race results. That's one thing about road courses. We gotta wait for everybody to cross the finish line before we can pull those up.
I won't say that this is a short road course, but at least we aren't talking 2 minutes and 15 seconds like Road America.
Yeah, the Road America is very long-winded when it comes to different corners, layouts, and tracks. You got some tight corners, you got some really long ones, but it's a very long track.
Looks like we do have our results officially.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and put the results up. So, somebody just wrecked. Chris Matthews there. So our race winner right now, as you can see, is Justin Morton. Coming in second is Thomas Bressie. Third is Alan Elwood. Fourth is Cameron Hearn. Fifth is Tyler Hensley. Sixth is Blake Gordon. Seventh is Randy Bechtel. Eighth is Travis McQuistion. Ninth is Will Roberts. And rounding out the top 10 is Michael Stroll.
All right, in 11th, we have Chris Matthews. Kyle Brooks is in 12th. Joe Dinsmore 13th, Casey Shue 14th, Hayden Pastoris is 15th, 16th is Brian Kita, 17th is Danny Ware, 18th Don Runkle Jr., 19th is John Griven, and 20th is Brandon Bernhardt.
21st is Eric Wineland. 22nd is Kyle Cooper. 23rd is Tyler Dougler. And coming in 24th is Calvin Filarski.
All right. While he's continuing to burn the tires down, let's go ahead and bring up our race winner.
Go ahead and pull them up for us.
Hey, Justin, this is Josh and Adam in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Another dominant win at a road course for you. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. After the start of the race, losing the lead right away. And I couldn't really get to Thomas. I could get there for like a lap and then just drop back. After that, he just made one mistake and I kind of just capitalized.
So what was going through your head there coming towards your pit stop, being the first one to dive down and not being the, reacting to Thomas doing it first?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to be the guy who did it first. I knew the undercut would be pretty big. I mean, I think I got like 4 seconds on him from the pit stop, so just wanted to make sure I stayed in front of him. I may have given up 1 point for the halfway points, but I'll give up a point for a win.
No, it seemed to be the right strategy because you only had about a second on him going into the pit stop, but by the time everyone had cycled through, it was up to about 4 seconds.
Yeah, I knew the gap grew pretty big. The undercut was really strong. Strategy worked in my favor.
Gotcha. So what was your strategy going throughout this race? Were you doing tire management, or are you just going you're just going out there and just laying down the fastest lap you could?
I think it was somewhere in the middle. During that second stint, when I saw how much time I had, I definitely was leaning more on the saving side, but I definitely wasn't just all out tire saving. I was still trying to make sure I was putting in good lap times to stay even with Thomas, or maybe just pull a little bit on him.
It seemed to work out quite well because I'm one of those people that in that specific situation, if I'm not the person in the lead, I'm just going to sit there, milk the tires, and then ultimately just burn them down on my second stint.
Yeah, I definitely needed to manage it. The tires were really key here. I noticed Thomas was always pulling me in the turn after the S's going onto that straightaway. He just had just that little bit more grip than me getting up there, and I noticed he would get some time on me every time and exiting onto the back stretch. Definitely just trying to keep management and keep doing good laps.
It definitely worked out for you today, and honestly, getting those points in these playoffs for most laps led and the win, it sets you up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it definitely does. I feel it's going to be tough for me to get up there to really compete with the championship, but if I can stay in this top 4, top 5, I'll be happy. I know on the ovals are not as strong as my road course racing, but do my best.
Well,
Right.
next week we go to Auto Club. So how are you feeling going on to what's kind of a cookie cutter intermediate?
I'm not a big fan of Auto Club. From California, so I like the track. I like watching the racing there. It's one of those tracks that I've always struggled with. Um, there's something about it that just doesn't click right with me. But yeah, I'm giving my best go.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Auto Club is tricky, but I really like it. Like what iRacing did with it after the dynamic track update, so the tires grip a little bit to make, the whole entire racing surface, because it's a large track and a lot of racing surface. And with this new dynamic upgrade, at least it made more lines viable throughout it, so it's just not like a low line. You can really work that upper line, and let that momentum carry you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the tracks that you can have multi grooves going. Would be nice if it was multi grooves were a little bit more even. I know sometimes one line can be dominant, but that's kind of how real racing is. So yeah, just try to pick your lines and be smart about it.
And tire save, that track is a killer for tires.
Yeah, definitely kill our tires. Definitely with being flat and how flat out you need to be, just gonna eat it away. Plus an old track surface.
I gotcha, man. Hey, congratulations. You got 2 back-to-back road course wins in dominant fashions, man. I know it feels good to come home, take a win, get some early playoff bonuses, and hopefully kind of help you stay up front there for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good start to the playoffs. Hopefully I can keep that going.
All right, man. We wish you luck next week at Auto Club.
Thank you.
All right, on to second place and Mr. Thomas Baresi. Good evening, sir. This is Josh and Adam in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
That sounds kind of dejected for a second place finish, man. I know you wanted first, but you got second. Great points night for you. Led quite a bit. Got some really good points out of here for the night that will catapult you for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I needed a win tonight because Allen's going to be really hard to beat the next couple weeks, and consistency doesn't pay off over 4 weeks. It pays off over a lot more than that. We don't have that, so kind of just pissed off because missed opportunity. I felt like had a lot of problems with lap cars tonight, and the people I was racing around didn't. So yeah, just great time. Just great. I think we got some halfway points. I think I beat Justin to the line there to get first there, so that's okay. But yeah, not ideal. I was joking in what was it last week or whatever the heck it was about second sucks or whatever. It's gets old kind of quick though. So yeah, just disappointed. Felt like it should have been spot better.
Well, next week we're heading off to Auto Club, which, from what we've got to see out of you, these intermediates are, well, not going to say your strongest suit because short tracks seem to be that for you, but you definitely are competitive and battling for it.
I mean, I guess that's a positive. Although the last time we were at Auto Club, I got my butt kicked. I don't even think I got a top 10 because I just absolutely trashed it. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, but we'll see. Just did okay at Michigan this year, which I honestly was a little worried about, partly because of how Auto Club went the last time. So maybe it'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping to kind of get through next week, see if we can do okay, and then looking forward to Atlanta. The last time we were there, should have won and was leading under caution about a third of the way through the race, and my sim crashed on me or whatever, and I did a ton of pace in hand. So hopefully we can go back there and, do what should have already been done. And I'm looking forward to Nashville as well. But, still got to take it a week at a time. Hopefully, do a little bit better or a lot of bit better than how Auto Club went last time in these cars for me. But yeah. So also I said it. I mean, we talked already, but I apologize also to Stroll for getting into him because I just did not expect him to get on the brakes as much as he did. And I mean, I was on the brakes early and still got into him, and I know he got turned around from it. So I apologize to him for that. But and also shout out to my teammate Tyler, got another top 5. So good run for him tonight. But yeah, we'll see how next week goes. I guess been a little better this year, that's for sure. I'll give you that. But still got to probably beat that 5 car. Kind of like real life too. I'm noticing a pattern.
Yeah, that 5 car is pretty dominant all season long in both fuel and real life. So yeah, it's going to be a hard one to beat there. But yeah, Tyler had a really great battle with Blake Gordon. We were showing that one going back and forth. They had some good battles going there. He ended up, was able to capitalize on some mistakes of Blake Gordon, was able to get back up there in front of him. So yeah, good job for Tyler.
Yeah, and I know he's kind of had a bit of an up and down season. So, the last couple of weeks have been a lot better for him, which is good to see because, he's kind of one that I think thrives on good results. So, hopefully he can kind of keep the trend going here and keep his Fuel Finals run going the right direction.
Sounds good, man. Well, we wish you luck next week at Auto Club. Just remember to save that front right tire, brake a little bit early going in those corners, and hopefully you pick the right line to get you around the track all night long.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. I'll see you guys then. Thanks.
See you, man.
Thank you, sir. All right. Let's go ahead and bring up Alan Elwood, and apparently he's probably going to be all about how Auto Club went, or is going to go. Good evening, sir. This is Josh and Adam in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
So a 3rd place run tonight. Bonus points coming into tonight. How are you feeling with your finish tonight?
Kind of wanted a little bit more. Not really sure what I could have done differently tonight compared to, I thought I had really, really good pace throughout the run, the 2 other road courses. And tonight, I think I just kind of used my stuff up in the beginning and just didn't quite have enough there. Like, that first run really just set me back for the rest of the race. And at that point, I was on my own, in my own zip code, just driving. So that was kind of frustrating, but those guys are really good road racers, and it shows with their results.
Gotcha. So what happened there? I know you and Thomas really came into pit road about 1 second apart there. What happened after you left pit road there? Because then you guys kind of got about 3-4 seconds apart soon after that.
Well, Justin pitted first, and I followed him in. Him and I pitted together, and Bressie pitted a lap after I did. And at that point, like, I knew undercutting was probably not really going to be in the cards because everybody was going to cut the race in half. So, at that point, I was like, oh, I just kind of accepted my fate. And like I said, I didn't want to make any mistakes because it's easy. It's arguably here is probably the easiest place to make a mistake, believe it or not, just because of the speed that you carry, and especially the S section, and then the tight S's going back around the backside of the track. Those 2 areas really were probably the deciding factor, it seemed like, in terms of my pace and those guys. I felt like I was maybe in the first round a tad quicker through the first half of the track, and then for some odd reason, I just, like, those guys would kill me those last 3 corners or so, and I could not figure it out. I didn't know if maybe I was driving in too hard and didn't quite get the exit speed or what, but I was trying stuff, just couldn't quite hang on. But yeah, I mean, like, I enjoyed the track, but I think overall, I probably enjoyed Red Bull Ring a little bit more. So, and I think that showed with my results and my pace there. But I think this was a good track to put in the playoffs to have everybody give everybody a challenge, and that proved that tonight.
Well, next week we are heading to Auto Club, and you may have already been called for being the man to beat by someone we've already talked to.
I would like that to be the case, but I just have that feeling that Cameron Hearn's probably going to be the man to beat. I think that Cameron, as you guys have seen, the dude has crazy pace, and now that he's got two hands to drive with, especially on ovals, I would look out for him to be at the front. He might argue otherwise, but I would say at this point, I'd give him the nod as the guy to beat.
Gotcha, man. I mean, you had a hell of a race. I mean, you know, you were a little bit further back and kind of out there racing your own. It's a good and bad thing. You're not overworking the car, so to speak. You kind of race your own race, but it gets very boring. But I mean, at the end of the day, you brought home third. It's really great points. You got a lot of playoff points coming into this. So I mean, it's a good first race of the playoffs for you.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see basically the top four coming into the points was completely flipped in this race. So I'd imagine points are going to be probably tied, if not close to, as far as the top four goes. So that'll be cool to see. And you know, I'm excited to get to the normal tracks, quote unquote normal tracks that you would expect NASCAR to go to. Like I said, I enjoyed tonight, but the ovals is really the bread and butter, and I think these last three races are going to be a thrill, just, you know, between on the track and putting it on a show for you guys. I think it's gonna be great.
I don't think that the track selection could have been better. Where we have Auto Club, which is fast, wide, so we have a lot of different options for racing. We close it out with Nashville Super Speedway, which ultimately seems like it may not be a track that's really going to provide those kinds of moments, but definitely in the middle we have Atlanta, that tire conservation is going to be key, but it's fast, and I love the track selection that we're closing out with.
I mean,
even Road Atlanta is an awesome track to showcase everyone's road skills.
I mean, all three of those tracks are going to be tire wear dependent. I mean, all three of them will eat your tires up repeatedly, lap after lap, and with these 100% fuel runs, and you guys are going to have to put on some huge tire management while also trying to keep like the most monumental pace that you can to stay up front.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Auto Club, like you guys said, is going to be just tire grading at its fullest, and you know, Atlanta can be as well, especially if you know, if you don't manage your stuff early in a run, you're going to be in for a long day. So, you know, that's the mindset that you have to go in with, is don't be too aggressive early on. That way, you know, those races have a tendency to go green. You just have to look at it that way. You can't expect cautions. Those races have a tendency to go green, so you got to be in for the long run and make sure that you're there to have the tires to maybe potentially, you know, make the winning pass. You never know where you're going to be at, so, you know, you just got to be anticipating that to, you know, hopefully take advantage.
I got you, man. Well, good luck to you next week, and we'll see you out there on the track.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight here at Ghostfire Media from the Jeff Hill Trailer Sale Series Fuel Racing League race at Road Atlanta. That's a lot of words I just said back to back to back. Alrighty, but that will do it for us. Come out tomorrow night. It will be IVRL's race at Martinsville. Find out who will punch their ticket into the Final Four. There are 2 open seats, and there's 6 people racing for it. So come out tomorrow night and watch that. The voices of Randy Pepper and Nick Adams. Wednesday night will be the AOLL Sportsman Series. It's also their final race. A lot of final races for the next 3 series we're broadcasting for this week. AOLL will be going to Homestead Miami Speedway, and there will be in the Truck Series, and find out who will be the top 6 out of the 12 moving on to the final 3 race shootout. And then Thursday night, we have AOLL TNT series, and I don't know where they're running this week.
We're at Southern National.
Southern
So
National.
short track chaos.
So Southern National on the TNT series. We're getting really close to the end of this one. I believe this is the third to last race in the TNT series. So we're getting down to the last few there. And then Friday night will be our wonderful podcast. And then Sunday night will be the final race in the AOL Cup Series for the round of 8. So come out that night as well and find out who will make it onto the top 4 to go have another 3-race shootout to see who will be the winner of the 2021 season.
It's going to be a great week of racing, a great mix of racing this week. And
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. And again, Monday, Auto Club.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it from us here at Ghostfire Media. We wish you guys have a great week.
Thank you for watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.